Jake was looking forward to fly across the Sahara Desert because he knew he had to in order to go to where he was going in Africa. Everything was going smoothly and the flight was even practically turbulence-free. He sat back and read a book, enjoying the flight. When the plane reached the Sahara Desert, he admired the view out of the window, which was beautiful. It was a dream come true for him, as he always was interested in deserts growing up. He wondered what would it be like actually down there walking around. Suddenly the plane made a certain jerk. Everyone got a start, but when the plane started flying as normal again, they relaxed again and enjoyed the flight until a few minutes later there was a huge explosion and the plane made a dive into the desert. Within what seemed like minutes but must have been only seconds, the plane crashed into the desert. There was another big explosion and sounds of the passengers screaming. The heat of the desert was exhausting and terrifying, and within a few days the water and food in the plane was gone. Jake and the rest of the passengers were losing hope of any help coming. People were dying from heat exhaustion and hunger now. He knew that you could go longer without food than water. Well, he thought so anyway. He was feeling confused, as so were the rest of the passengers. Everyone survived the crash, but now ironically they were all afraid they were going to lose their lives from hunger and heat exhaustion. I have an idea how we can get food. Everyone looked at him, wondering what he was going to say, anxious as to know what glimpse of hope he could possibly provide by saying he had an idea how to get food. Then he spoke again. There is a coffin on the plane. It is being brought over for a funeral. Everyone sighed in disgust. But within 30 minutes, the passengers gathered around the coffin, ready to start eating the corpse. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you enjoy the content then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new content. There is a Japanese urban legend called the Cowhead Story. The name might sound kind of strange or even funny, but the urban legend has a very sinister background story. The most sinister thing about the story is that the story is so scary and so haunted that no one can ever tell it without dying. The legend talks about the story, which is basically a group of students, one by one, that notice that their teacher is becoming more and more involved in the story and living it. After a while, the students are screaming for him to stop. The worst thing is, he can't. A while later, police find the bus in a ditch, which is all of the passengers foaming at the mouth, and legend has it they were in some sort of trance. The police shook them awake, and when the police asked them what happened, no one could remember how they ended up there. The Cowhead Story has no recollection of it. Some theories might pop up every so often, but maybe there are no solid conclusions because of the one thing that might stop people from telling the story, and that is the story is so scary and so haunted that no one can ever tell it without dying. I didn't want to say this, and I'm not using my face just in case I might get haunted by whatever legend it is. But when I first told the story of it, there was some weird kind of old video popped up when I was animating it as if mocking me. It was my voice speaking, saying, "You won't be able to put this on, but I will put it on YouTube for you." I was wondering what it is, and what it was. It kind of creeped me out. It was almost as if it happened because I was telling you the story. I felt like, and I still feel like, even after me deleting it, that I am haunted now. What? Hello, my name is Roy. It was a winter's night. Me and 3 other people were invited to spend the night in a room that had a prize for just staying there. It was a very attractive idea, as we were sent links of photos and videos of the room. It was just an ordinary room with no crazy stuff in there. First I was wondering, would there be saws and torture equipment in there, like the movie Saw? But the link showed photos and videos of the room, as I said, and it seemed harmless. But let's get back to the prize. The prize was $100,000. I first wondered, was it a prank or a joke, but I decided to give it a go. I mean, what harm could it do? The night came, and when I arrived there were 3 more people, a couple and a man. We started talking about how we were sent a link to take part, and how we were reluctant in taking part. There was no one greeted us at the room. We were just sent a link on our phone that gave us a tracking device to give us GPS directions to get here. Then there was a room with a code to enter in the middle of an abandoned building. It was all really creepy. There didn't seem to be anything in the room, just 4 boxes and 4 TVs on the wall. I was wondering what it was all about. Then suddenly one of the TVs came on, and a person in a hood and a mask came on the screen. "Hello there, and welcome to the room. As you know, if ye stay here ye will win $100,000. And that is true, but there are just a few tasks that ye have to do first. There will be 3 of the TVs on the wall changed to a live stream in just under 2 minutes, and then you will see that I will give ye instructions on how ye can win your $100,000. And remember, ye can all win $100,000 each. Just follow simple instructions, and the money is yours. Suddenly, 3 of the other TVs came on, and a couple and a man were in shock when they saw what was on the screen. I could see my wife strapped to a chair, gagged, and the couple started screaming as they saw their 2 kids, a boy and a girl, strapped to a chair and gagged, and a man had been screaming about his wife, which also was strapped to a chair. The man spoke again. Well, I wasn't disappointed with the shocked reaction, but let me explain why you're watching your loved ones attached to a chair. But before I do, I have a little surprise for you. Suddenly a masked figure walked up to each person in the videos. The man spoke again. What you're watching is a video of your loved ones, and the people holding a gun to their head are ready to shoot them dead in just under 30 minutes. Unless you do something very easy, just put the gun to your head and pull the trigger. And yes, the guns I will give ye are loaded. There is a box in front of ye, and your guns will be in there. Just pop in the code trigger happy, and your box will open, and then retrieve your gun. Remember, you have 30 minutes. Also, I'm going to throw ye a lifeline. If ye aren't up to killing yourself, then if you kill another person in the room, then your family will be free. Same as if you kill yourself. Your family will be free, and no harm will fall upon them. It's really easy and exciting, so let's start the game, shall we? We all stared at each other in shock, trying to take in what was happening. The man on his own spoke. "What is this? I can't let my wife die." I said, "Don't do anything stupid." 10 minutes passed and no one shot themselves or each other. But after 15 minutes, the man shouted, "I can't take this anymore," and pointed the gun to the man who was with his wife and shot him. Then he shot the man's wife and then shouted, "I'm not a killer, but they're going to charge me for murder and put me in prison for a crime that I only did out of love for my wife." With that, the man shot himself in his head. I was standing alone in the room, in shock, wondering what would happen next. Then the man came on the TV again. "Congratulations. It looks like things worked out very well for you in this situation. Your wife will be freed and free to go." With that, the door of the room clicked open, and I walked out in shock and rang the police and explained. Luckily, I had secretly filmed the TVs with my phone and was able to show the police. My son was just 13 and walking out of a garage when one car bashed into another, and well, the first one went smashing into my son, killing him instantly. The car sped off, but I had the presence of mind to ask my friend Fred to wipe the CCTV, as I knew if the license plate numbers were given to the police, then the justice they would be served wouldn't in any way equal my justice. They might not even serve time. So luckily my friend Pat had a great idea. He would use his contacts to get their plates, looked up, find out who they were, get them matched to the CCTV to make sure no one would be in the wrong. He had his gun loaded with 2 real bullets to shoot the couple, and the third one for himself, which was a fake bullet, which would blast him with fake blood. Very realistic. You might wonder how Pat had got away with it, since the police would be looking for his body. But that was all sorted. They did find his body, which was changed very fast after the couple were killed. Pat had used the mask of an addict we shot in the street. Pat had an amazing skill in creating lifelike prosthetic masks. The hardest thing about it was lifting the addict's body in. It was so heavy from the dead weight. I sat back, really happy with myself, and my wife happy also, knowing that me and Pat and her were the only ones that really knew what really happened in that room. I thought of the police watching the video, thinking they had evidence. That I was a victim traumatized that survived hell. Then I smiled and said to my wife, "It just goes to show, it's not always you can trust what you see." Then what about the gunmen who were holding the guns to the people's heads? Well, I've only 2 words. Deep fake.